Hey everyone, this is Ryder from Skip. I hope you're doing well. It's Tuesday, October 13th. I have a quick video update for you on the stimulus news, including the new PPP funding that Mitch McConnell has said the Senate will vote on soon. So I'm going to talk about that, why Mitch all of a sudden is talking about new PPP funding. I'm also going to give a quick update on our stimulus checks. We're going to pick more winners tomorrow. And I'm going to give a quick news update on the airlines since Delta announced their quarter earnings today. It's a huge loss. Demand is still way down. And the airline struggle is a major indicator for the rest of the economy. So I'm going to talk about that as it relates to the stimulus. As always, thank you so much for watching our quick videos, subscribing and supporting our channel, and watch until the end because I'm going to talk about the stimulus checks tomorrow and what we're going to do for our drawing. As you know, if you're a subscriber to this channel and you follow our simple instructions, you're eligible for our grants. We've given out nearly 20 $500 grants so far. So please hit subscribe, support our channel and our effort to help more people, and give this video a like. Here's what Axios put out. McConnell says Senate will vote on new PPP funding before the election. He said this today, that the Senate's, quote, first order of business when it returns on October 19th will be to vote on, quote, targeted relief for American workers, including new funding for the small business PPP. So here's why it matters. House Democrats, Republicans, and the Trump administration are still very far apart, as we know, better than anyone, on key elements of a relief deal, and any push for smaller, more targeted legislation is more of a political maneuver than anything else. This is 100% political for Mitch McConnell to put out. And Axios hits it over the head here. You know, the Senate has been largely left out of the negotiation process between House Speaker Pelosi and the White House, which has been represented by not only Steve Mnuchin, but also Mark Meadows. So the Senate, and particularly Mitch McConnell, are trying to reassert their relevance, especially as many of them, including Mitch, are up for re-election. Here's how Axios frames it. This is McConnell's way of showing Senate Republicans are still dedicated to some form of coronavirus stimulus and could serve as a backstop in the event that a new bill is passed in the House that Republicans in the Senate deem unworkable. Here's Mitch's press release from his website. And this quote at the bottom is important. It resonates with a lot of people. Of course, as I've remarked, Democrats do want something bigger, and they think that if they can control the White House and the Senate, they can pass something more substantial. But here's his quote. Republicans do not agree that nothing is better than something for working families. The American people need Democrats to stop blocking bipartisan funding and let us replenish the PPP before more Americans lose their jobs needlessly. And if you're wondering why Mitch is doing this now, look, the polls are generally close between him and Amy McGrath. Now, most people think McConnell's going to win again and be able to defend his Senate seat, but it's a close race. I mean, this poll from September 24th showed McConnell with a +7 advantage. This is one of the closer polls. McGrath is obviously getting a lot of funding from the Democrats to try to overtake McConnell. You know, McConnell's been around for such a long time in Kentucky. But again, it remains to be seen. It's still a fight that he has to make to preserve his spot in the U.S. Senate. Now, there's one problem with Mitch's proposal that kind of contradicts what the White House put forth a couple days ago. In fact, on Sunday, when Mark Meadows and Steve Mnuchin wrote a letter to the House to ask for the PPP funding to be reallocated, the existing PPP funding, there is already $300 billion in PPP funding available. I mean, why don't we just reallocate the first funding before we ask for more funding? So again, in terms of the PPP funding, it is a great program. It has saved so many jobs, and the SBA has made it easier for businesses to get forgiveness. For a PPP second round, it would be geared towards the hardest hit businesses first, then potentially available for other businesses that haven't been affected as much. But here's Pelosi's response. A fly on the wall. She's probably digging at the fly in Mike Pence, or wherever else it might land in the Oval Office, tells me that the president only wants his name on a check to go out before Election Day and for the market to go up. So generally that's right. You know, McConnell wants to be seen as creating jobs. The president wants to be seen as out there creating jobs. You know, if people believe in the talk, they don't need to see reality. I mean, that's a lot of what the political maneuvering has been, to talk about accomplishments. And if you talk about accomplishments enough, people will forget what's reality and what's just talk. And that's exactly what's happening here, where we're going to continue to get news stories, certainly in the next 21 days, because exactly 3 weeks from today is election day, November 3rd. We're going to get all sorts of stories about people saying this, saying that. But the news of note on this is that McConnell has spoken up. He's been fairly quiet on the stimulus negotiations and news for the last few weeks. So the fact that he comes out today and says, let's vote on more PPP funding and let's do it next week, says a number of things. Mainly, I think it says he cares about how he's being perceived. He wants to get support of small businesses and business owners, especially to preserve his Senate seat in Kentucky. But I want to talk about Delta Airlines for a minute, because remember, last week, Republicans and the White House talked about doing a standalone airline relief bill. Again, all of these standalone bills have been rejected. There's the airline bill, there's this PPP bill now from Mitch. They've all been rejected by Pelosi and the Democrats. Delta announced their Q3 numbers today, and their losses have mounted. So they lost $5.4 billion through Q3. Its operating revenue plunged 79% from the year before. There are a number of things to note in their report, but Delta's president, Glenn Hauenstein, said in a statement, while it may be 2 years or more until we see a normalized revenue environment. That's a long time. The fact that he's saying 2 years, and again, a lot of this is setting expectations to give people 2 years. But other airlines have said similar things, a couple years at least to get back to normal. So that means it's a long haul. A lot of the jobs, a lot of the furloughs that they've gotten rid of probably won't come back for quite some time. The airline said it would retire nearly 400 planes ahead of schedule, including more than 200 this year. It also said it had cut back on plans to buy more than $5 billion worth of aircraft through 2022. So United, American, and Southwest will release quarterly information this week or next week. So we'll see what comes out in their reports. If it's similar to what Delta's put out, basically emphasizing there's been a major hit. There's been a major hit in air travel. We all know that. It's no secret. A big point is, though, that's tens of thousands of jobs. And that's when you have to wonder, all these jobs are being cut for at least a few years. Okay, so what? These people are going to have to stay on unemployment? What jobs are going to be available for them? And it re-emphasizes the need for economic stimulus. Lastly, speaking of stimulus, tomorrow we are drawing more winners. We've picked 20 so far. We've given out about a dozen $500 grants. But we are going to pick winners tomorrow. In order to be able to help more people, tomorrow we are going to give out $250 per winner as opposed to $500 per winner. This is an attempt to help more people. It's based on your feedback saying, look, 200, 300, 400, 500, oh my gosh, just to get this from your channel would be so helpful. So that's why we're doing this tomorrow. But please subscribe and support our channel, and of course enter your name here, because we would hate to pick your name tomorrow and not see that you are registered on Skip. It takes 2 seconds. As always, thank you so much for your continued support, for liking our videos and leaving comments. Stay well, stay healthy, and we'll see you tomorrow.